soft tissue contours. Some cases, this is type C. According to the Smith and Hahnemann's classification, the width is about more than 10 millimeter, locally, and the major distally about 8-9 millimeter. So in this case, I usually use strip fine because there is very limited amount of bone. So normally I penetrate the sinus floor. Okay? Some cases, the membrane tearing happens, but it doesn't matter. Okay? I can block the tearing with the fixtures. So this is second molar, and the amount of vertical height was very thin, only this much. But I have a very good implants, deep threaded. So core is about 4.5, but thread from here to here is about 6.3. Good initial fixation. The top of the implants will be placed about 3-4 millimeter, or almost 4 millimeter from the gingival margin. Then the space can be filled with normally allograft, in most cases allograft. And this anatomic healing abutment can minimize soft tissue movement. Okay? No individual customized abutment is the best choice. You can connect temporary cylinder and resins. Okay? Yeah. So you can fit the soft tissue defects perfectly, but it takes time. I'm lazy, so this is very another options. Okay? So just you can do only 2 sutures, immediate after surgery, temporary. So this was the anatomic healing was a little bit big, so there was some gap. It's okay. And final restoration was finished. Okay? Even I used the thread fine and I placed the top of the implant a little bit inside the sinus. In most cases, this area can be covered with a new regenerative bone in 2 years, after 2 years. So it's very easy to do. Then, so molar immediate placement has a very high success rate, 96.6, and faster. Normally, I can finish final restoration in 3 months. Minimally invasive and much better effect result, just like a molar, and more money. So this is a case of ABC, I think. So just easy case. This is like a type B, class ABC, classification B. So many doctors hesitate to do immediate implantations into the molar extraction cycle. Why? The first one is initial stability. How we can get the initial stability? When we start to have the bigger diameter, bigger than 6 millimeter. When I started the implant, the biggest one was 5 in diameter. But some year later, 6 millimeter appeared, the biggest one. And in 2006, Megagen started to launch rescue implant, which is 6 millimeter from 6 millimeter diameter to 8 millimeter. 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8 millimeter, bigger diameter. So in most cases, we could get the good initial stability. And socket defect treatments. This is socket with a very high healing potential. So this is not a big problem. And the soft tissue management, how we can make it soft tissue healing. So normal healing abutment is too small. So in most cases, we can drill through the surgical guide or just freehand. And the space can be filled with allograft. Many doctors use allograft. Then this is customized healing abutments. This is standard protocol of molar immediate placement. So normally this kind of customized healing abutment takes about 20 minutes in my case. Then soft tissue becomes wonderful. Then according to the soft tissue healing, we can make the emergence profile like natural tooth. This is molar immediate. Final restoration, normally 3 months later. This is classical classification of the molar immediate socket. Type A with plenty of bone at the septum. So just we use normal drilling protocol and use standard size of implants. Type B, enough bone for the initial stability, but there are some exposure into the sinus, into the socket. It's okay. Type C, almost no septum, but we have to use the buccal and the lingual wall for the stability. This is the concept. But in this classification, there is no consideration of implant bone below the socket. So we made the new IW classification. 7, 5, 3, 0 on the maxillary. 7, 5, 3 in the mandible. 7 millimeter or more. 5 millimeter to 3 to 5 millimeter. Less than 3 millimeter, no bone. So according, if we have 7 millimeter or more bone below the socket, so we don't need to depend on the septum. In any cases, we can get stability from this implant bone, regardless of bone wall defects or not. Yeah. So that's why we have many different depths of thread, the core and the thread concepts, and the ridge, blue diamond, and the beading cup, up to 7.3 millimeter. And the maximum thread diameter is almost 8 millimeter. It's very easy. And healing abutments, we have 3 options. The bigger diameter of round healing, up to 10 millimeter. We have 6, 8, 10 millimeter round shape of healing abutments, or anatomic healing abutment. This is better. This is the best, but it takes time. The 7 millimeter case, like this. Okay? No need to worry about the socket and the wall defect. In any case, we can get very good initial stability. See here, in the sound wall case, so you can place implants into the center of the socket or a bit toward the lingual side, because the buccal, the buccal bone is not stable very much. So in the case of a buccal wall defects, of course, the implant should be to the sound wall, but these parts with the bone wall defects, we cannot expect the bone regeneration to the top. So some part from here to this much can be filled with bone healing, but this part just for contourization. So if you use this concept, very easy to do. So after extraction, I love to use trephine for the osteotomy sockets. So in this case, there is no wall defects. So very easy, very standard time, and anatomic healing abutment and the 2 sutures. So it takes about, in this case, it takes about 20 minutes. Even in this case, I use the 2 millimeter cuff, 2 millimeter cuff height. Why? Because there was, from the literature, there was 3% of difference between success rate and the survival rate. Yeah? Success rate was 90. Survival rate was 96 to 98%, but success rate was about 93 to 95. Why the difference? This means the bone was not filled to the top of the implants by any reason. So by using this cuff, I'm sure I can have a bone filling to the top. So I can make 100% success rate. So in the case, there was a bone deep, wall deep. The fistula was here, and I opened the small plate. Yeah, buccal bone defects. Plenty of bone here, from the apex to the nerve. 0.7 millimeter. So why we don't place implants immediately? In this case, just I use normal shape of implants, and even in the case of heal the ridge, I can connect the anatomic healing abutments, then the soft tissue will become better. So this socket defects can be filled with the allogenous bone again. Yeah. So just connect the anatomic healing, then it can make better soft tissue. Yeah. Final illustration became more beautiful. Almost 1 year later, the extraction socket was completely filled. In some cases, it's a big socket on the posterior. So I use this 7mm, 7.3 millimeter blue diamond, and good fixation. The fixation was obtained from buccal lingual socket, and so individual healing abutments were created. Okay. The inner bone again. So according to the soft tissue contour we make, the principle is very simple, very simple. So this case I showed you, but this is very simple case. The principle is all same. I don't want to use too much time. Interesting case, as you asked me about the angulations. About this case, no bone below the sinus floor, 0, and no wall, but we have a bone here, palatal. So it's same with the RE and the BD cuff. You can use this bone for the initial fixation. So in that case, like this. So whenever I found this bone, I loved it immediately after extraction. Not to heal the ridge. Then this area should be covered with a BD cuff. Yeah? So all the threaded part already placed in the into the sound bone. So the patient came to me with this condition, so very high mobility, and this implant looks good, but it was positioned too much palatal. And from the CBCT, I could see this bone. There was almost no bone vertically, but I could see this bone. So, open the flap and remove the picture with the MacGyver kit. And then, so angulation is about 30 degrees here. So, to the palatal. So, this way. In this case, luckily the screw hole appeared on the occlusal surface, so I didn't need to use the AXA abutments. So this is good case to solve. Only less than 2 months. No need to do sinus bone graft. From the panoramic view, it looks the picture placed inside the sinus. But actually, from the CBC, you can see the position of the fixtures. So I have one more interesting case. This is a very short presentation. Let's see, only one more case. Actually, this is the book I'm writing now, almost finished in Korean version. Same principle. So there was this tooth had a very big buccal wall destruction, and from the CBCT I could see bone here, and this axis. So two implant was placed. This one just straight, and this one toward the palatal bone. Then I made the parallel with the AXA, straight AXA here, 30 degree, defect was filled with the bone matrix, just like a full mouse case. Scan, after healing, I deliver temporary, and this is final restoration. So check this. Very easy to do. This case, I already use this case. About this case. In this case, I made one mistake. So the initial drilling moved it to too much buccal. So even I used a 30-degree AXA, contour was not so good. Like this, but it's okay. Different one. So this kind of palatal bone has a lot of cases. More incidence is than your expectation. In case placed toward the existing bone, then just to use AXA. So when we place implants into the palatal side, no need to worry about the curvature, convexity. If there is no bone on the palatal, no bone here, we need to do sinus bone graft, the last one. So in consideration of perfect success rate, so we need to place a D, or we can use the cuff, 2 mm cuff. Then I believe we will not make any bone loss under the threaded area. Simple. No need to worry about the wall defects. Okay? If you consider implant bone for the initial fixation, everything will become much easier. Much easier. And one more tip here. This patient came to me with numbness. Okay? Definitely, this implant touched the mandibular nerve, and I removed, and I asked the clinic, so what's the initial stage? It was like this. He drilled too much and placed the implant too deep. Then my mentor, Dr. Hayashi in Japan, developed this drill. How clever it is. There was no grinding, no diamond on the bottom. So in this case, the limited height is IP I3, less than 3 mm bone. So we have to place implants just inside of the socket. So if you use this drill, you don't go deep. Okay? Just you can enlarge the socket. Then place implants just like this. So you see this. Open the flap and use the bigger diameter, just like this. So here, mandibular nerve is just near. So this is granulation tissue. So I removed and used this drill only. Okay. And enlarge and the degranulation, and we use the 7.3 and the 2 mm cuff. Anatomy healing. And wait. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting the final restoration. Almost finished. So there are some geniuses, okay? So developing some useful gadgets. For the molar immediate, it's in most cases available. Not just a good condition of socket. In almost all the cases, you can place implants into the molar extraction site. It's a continuous application of BD cup, bigger diameter. Okay. If you don't have questions, we can continue to talk at the dinner table. Thank you very much.